This bench here looks like those generic anime where the scenes goes like.
鈴木くん、
なんだ田中さん。
なんでもないよ。
かわいい。I've been thinking a lot about what video I should make next. One of them is making a tier list of Japanese people. So basically I rate Japanese people based on their traits and stereotypes. Like how a Showa Oji-san is an F tier and a Kansai Oba-san is S tier. But that's just free cancellation, isn't it? I don't have the balls yet to face cancellation right now. And I'm not ready to be a PNG hyping bald white American that gets cancelled every week. Also, I'm not bald, so I'ma make a less controversial video instead. Right when I started making my own videos, I also stopped walking on eggshells, such as making decisions based on everybody's schedule in my office, and just smack dab putting those eggs in hydraulic press instead. So I started planning on going to other prefectures, and just make my own private time. This time, I decided to go to a random small town in Chugoku area called Kurayoshi. This small town inhabits 44,000 people today, and the best way to go to this town is the 3-hour bus from Osaka. And on the way, I stopped everything I was doing to just record all of the view, because the scene was that great, so 3 hours just flew by. But the motion sickness kicked in pretty quickly, so I stopped halfway. Honestly, coming to Kurayoshi is a bliss. I can actually hear the water flows, and the air is fresher. Like, I'm in the center of the city, and it's not even as busy as my living area. You know what? This might be even better than Osaka. I might even move here. Yeah. But as soon as my desire to move comes, it slaps on my face and ran away into oblivion. Don't get me wrong, this town is beautiful. Everything's cheaper and it feels like holiday every day. But there are some things that is strong enough to make the mirror slams down, and it's an each man for himself situation over here. So I hope my views could help you understand whether you can live in rural Japan or not. One thing that you have to know, those magnificent trains that is always on time you saw in Tokyo, that stays in Tokyo. Cities and towns that is modified for tourism always have great transportation system. But towns that don't, you have 3 choices. Get a car, or a bicycle, or walk. The nearest convenience store will be 1 mile away, and the nearest supermarket is 2 miles away. There are no shopping malls, only 1 department store. The hospitals are also a bit far, so consider your car or bicycle a life partner. If you know someone who said,
Japan has such great transportation system, the people don't really need a car.
then you have to tell me what they are smoking, because I need that. Because public transportation such as buses only comes once every hour, you have to time everything to the second. That's why the only chance you have is with private transportation. But I gotta say, this system works. Why? For example, in this Kurayoshi city, 18,000 people from the whole 44,000 population are at the age of retirement. That's 41% of the population. Old people wouldn't just go outside of their house every day. Most of their days are filled with them trying to remember where their scratcher is anyway, right? So what does this mean for us expats? Well, I can think of one type of people that fits this category, and that's the German. I heard that the German loves to walk, that the act of walking around the neighborhood is considered a recreation. Me personally, I came from a tropical country, so that shit's whack. Back in my home country, I used that small 100cc scooter. It's so small that my family was saying I look like those circuit bears riding a small tricycle. But Kurayoshi is such a walkable city. I spent 3 hours walking and I don't feel tired at all, and that's coming from the fat ass me. If you consider walking 1 mile to go to a convenience store as refreshing, have at it. This town might be just for you. But one huge thing that is making me harder to see this town as convenient is the entertainment side of the city. Big cities like Tokyo and Osaka can accommodate your hobby no matter how weird your niche is. But walking in Kurayoshi, I can find only 1 movie theater and that's it. Oh, but I found 1 internet cafe, but something tells me I shouldn't come inside. Then I remembered somewhere about someone who lives in a small town in Shizuoka said that their only source of entertainment is a snack. For those of you who don't know what a snack is, it's basically a small bar, kind of like a speakeasy one. A snack's special feature is that the owner is usually a woman, and they are great at understanding you. A great snack is the ones you'll subconsciously come to every other day, because they will listen and understand your troubles while having a nice drink. Me, I don't have a knack for getting drunk in public places. If you're taking me to an izakaya, believe me, I will only have a glass or 2 beers, but I will have 10 yakitori sticks, 2 portions of nankotsu karage, an entire takawasa for myself, and a simple oolong tea for the rest of the day. Also, I'm awkward with strangers. In Kurayoshi, everywhere I go is just a whole lot of snacks, left and right, with every name, every specialties, including this one. This one place, one whole building, with one word only: lover. This could be anything. A snack? A bar? A host club? Hell, it could be a front for human trafficking specialized for singles in your area. I heard that snacks are better in rural Japan because the community is smaller and people knew each other. So, they said that it feels much more homey. Going to snacks is not for me. But if going to pubs with your homies is an entertainment to you, rural Japan is a place for you. I'd say people like the Germans will love it. Germans love their beer, that their beer consumption per capita is one of the highest in the world. Honestly, German weep, this place is for you. Living in a huge city like Tokyo and Osaka, every day is such a fast-paced life. Sometimes we just have to slow down and rest our mind and body. But what if? What if you could have a slow life with good life quality every day? That's what rural Japan offers. Even though it's a slower life, it is still Japan. You can still easily explore Japan with your already vacation-like daily life. When walking around, I actually slowed down and enjoyed the journey rather than worrying all the time how to get from point A to point B as fast as I can. And since there are no stress from the fast-paced life, people are friendlier. And I got konnichiwa more in a day compared to my whole life around Osaka. But my problem is, if somebody told me to slow down, I would not slow down. I would stop altogether. So I need this hook that keeps me going. That is why I cannot even consider myself having a slower life now. Also, with slower life means lower needs to eat out in a restaurant. So you're not spoiled with choices when you're too lazy to cook. A bit of story from my trip here. I went to Kurayoshi from the 22nd to the 24th of March. Visiting here means I can't cook, so the only answer is to eat out. Each 47 prefectures of Japan has their own specialty, like how Osaka has okonomiyaki and takoyaki, or how Fukuoka has their ramen, Kurayoshi City has pear. I can't just eat pear, so I chose to eat what I wanted. And I wanted udon, but the only udon restaurant in the whole area decided to take a break on the exact same date I was here.
Sometimes my luck is almost frightening.
So I went to a nearby soba restaurant instead. And honestly, this soba slaps. One of the best I've ever tasted. Come check Sunagiya in Kurayoshi. But who do I think is great for this kind of environment? Maybe Europeans. If I have to make an example, I wanna say the Germans. I always have this image of Europeans being more relaxed and always seem to enjoy their life. So honestly, this video just evolved from comparing lives in rural and city Japan to me selling Kurayoshi to the Germans. In conclusion, the slow life of rural Japan is not something to turn away from. But right now, it's much more logical for me to live in the city. Every person has their own reasons to weigh on. So I just want to suggest that before you decide whether you want to live in rural or city Japan, take a trip to one of these smaller towns, at least once, and you might find the answer.